Hello once again, and I'm going to be talking about my memories of the high street, where all the shops are, all the big stores or etc etc. Now sadly that a lot of these shops or stores have closed down, but back before the internet, now let's go back to the 80s, where, well, there were shops galore everywhere, different shops, different types, selling different goods. Yes, you had your department stores, but you had your specialised shops as well. I remember a big, massive store called Alders in Croydon. Sadly, that's no longer there. They sold everything there. It was massive. Now, I don't know if a lot of towns have Alders, but we was fortunate to have this store. Yeah, I should say it was like a big department store. I think had 3 floors, massive. I think the bottom sold like all houseware, like carpets, rugs, and other like furniture and stuff. I think there was a clothing department on the 2nd floor with other stuff that you can buy, and up the top was probably the best, where it sold all the electronics like stereos and TVs, computers, etc. But that was a massive store. But sadly that's no longer with us. And across the road there was Debenhams. That was a massive department store. I don't think that's no longer with us. There was stores like Woolworths. Who remembers Woolworths? That was a fucking brilliant store, that was, Woolworths. Unfortunately they're all gone now. Even where I lived, up here, there's a little parade of shops round the corner where I live. They had some really good shops, massive. Well, it weren't massive, but it was like for the town. But there's some really good shops back in the 80s and 90s. Assortment of different shops, toy shops, electronic shops, like car spare shops, and modelling, like sell painting, all sorts of calligraphy stuff back in the day. None of them shops are no longer there now. It's all like fucking takeaways and food, like fast food shops now. That's what seems to be the thing coming up now. And these foreign booze bank shops, selling booze. It's just, I don't know, it's just not as good up here no more. You had a market, a market used to be massive markets. Surrey Street Market in Croydon, I don't know if you're familiar with that, only if you lived in Croydon you'll be familiar with, but even that's all gone. The market up here, it used to be massive big stalls, but perhaps like twice in a week. And that's all sort of shrunk down. So yeah, it's just obviously the internet has taken over everything now, isn't it? To be honest with you, I do pretty much all my shopping on Amazon these days. It's just more convenient. So yeah, I'm guilty, probably like a lot of people. Well, boy, is it guilt? We're just moving on with the times, Yeah, it's just a shame, because that back in the 80s, obviously when I got my computer, in shops like W.H. Smith's or Boots, because that's where all the computer games used to be sold, like the 8-bit games, because I don't think there was computer shops or computer gaming shops at that time. I think they started to come along more in the 90s when the 16-bit era had come out. But yes, there was just loads of shops. Model shops, because obviously I love making models, and there was dedicated model shops. Bolt radio controlled cars, BT's, that was the name of the shop, BT's. That was a great shop. There was like individual music shops, like Our Price, stuff like that. Remember stuff like radio rentals where you can rent a TV? They're no longer a thing anymore. Can you rent TVs anymore? I don't think you can. I think the thing with TVs are so cheap now. It's pretty much affordable, It's like everything now, everything's sort of like cheap and sort of affordable. So renting stuff like TVs and stuff, I don't think it's no longer a thing. To be fair, I don't think no one's rented a TV, as far as I know. Like back in the day, I think my dad used to buy like old second-hand TVs, obviously. And I know he bought a video recorder for the first time. Well, that was expensive, Betamax. So yeah, my dad used to buy stuff, even though it might have been second-hand. But I don't recall ever renting. They didn't rent, I don't think. Or when I was a kid, you know, I don't think they ever did. Yeah, but all these like Rumbelows. Was it I mentioned Rumbelows? Radio rentals. Yeah, where you rent your TVs. There was these. I've noticed like there was like a convenience, like a newsagent's called Martins or McCall. They've all gone now. They've gone under. Been taken over by Morrison's. You know, it's like where you get. I remember going in there as a kid and getting sweets and stuff like that. Yeah, like pick a mix, like something Woolworths invented. Pick a mix, you know, fucking great that was. There was just so many different types of shops, and there was these specialised shops. You know, you can buy music equipment, or there's these computer shops that just sold you computers, not computer game shops, but there was computers that repairs them. Like I think. There's just all sorts of shops then, but sadly we're just losing all these high street shops now. I mean, it's just a shame, you know. Going down Croydon now, just seeing all these shops boarded up. I mean, there's a place. Well, it's like I don't know what you call it, St George's Walk, where you just walk through this, and there's loads and loads of shops. They're knocking that down. They're basically almost knocked that down now. You know, all these old places, they're knocking down, you know, replacing them with fucking newer buildings. There was loads of pubs. Something else there was. Loads and loads of pubs in Croydon. Loads. They've all been shut down. Mostly all. There's a great Wetherspoons pub called the Skylark. They've shut that down. There was just so many niche pubs. But they've all been shut down. Obviously, no one's even drinking. I think maybe it's expensive now. You know, there's only a few pubs left in Croydon now. The oldest pub still there. I think two of the oldest pubs are still there. One was called the Ship, a great pub. Sort of like play more. It's more of a Rocky's club, alternative. I don't know. You know, they play more of the rocky sort of music. So if you like rock music. You know, alternative music. None of this club rat crap these pubs seem to play these days. This crappy modern music. And there's obviously Wetherspoons pub still in Croydon. Even the Skylark was a Wetherspoons pub. That was probably one of the best pubs. And unfortunately, I've closed that down now. So still got a couple that we go to these days, but trouble with some of the pubs, it's so expensive for a fucking pint. They think it's fucking London. Like £5, £6 for a fucking pint. That's why I go to Wetherspoons. It's pretty cheap in there. Yeah, it's Croydon, not fucking London. God, I hate to imagine how much London charges for a pint of beer these days. Probably a fucking tenner. Yeah, it's just, you know, there's just so many good shops. You know, toy shops, you know, when I was a kid, Zodiac Toys, I remember. Going in there. Around there was just around the corner was just so many different types of shops, just specialise in stuff, you know. But now where do you go? You get it all online nowadays. Yeah, as I said, the convenience of the internet. But then obviously the internet weren't a thing, so you had to go to the shops. There was so many different shops, you know. It was a great experience, you know, fun, you know, to have a look at different things. But yeah, it's just like all shops are just boarded up. They're tearing buildings down, the older buildings. All you see is these fucking high-rise flats going up now in Croydon. Fucking looks like a concrete bloody jungle. It's getting that way. It's just fucking shit. I think BT had a building called Delta Point, and I think that was used in one of the later Batman films when it got digitally blown up. I don't know what it was. Probably I'm talking about the later, the Dark Knight series ones. I think it was the second one. If you see a building get digitally blown up, that was the Delta Point building apparently in Croydon, where ex-British Telecom building that was. And even they moved out. So yeah, I mean, it's just the High Street. You know, it used to be fun. It was just, you know, going to all these shops. It's just not there anymore. You know, all these good shops, all these niche shops that we all loved, you know. Everyone had a niche hobby, you know, or a hobby, or they liked their music. There was plenty of shops, music, games in the 90s, gaming shops, but all gone. All gone. Obviously now it's digital media, so there's no need to stock physical media anymore. So, and you can get them all online if you want to. So, I mean, the rates is probably down to the rates of the buildings, how much the rent and rates, you know, they're fucking astronomical. I mean, if you're not making a profit, you know, you're going to go out of business. It's just a fucking shame, you know, but it's a sign of the times, you know. Everything's all online these days, you know. As I said before, I buy things online. It's just more convenient, you know. You get it delivered straight to your door. So yeah, you know. But back in the day, it used to be great, you know. Going with my mates, going and looking at the shops, going to have a pint afterwards. Plenty of pubs to go to. Oh, great days they are. The great days of the High Street. Missed it, you know. There's a lot of shops that no longer with us. Great shops. Woolworths was a fucking great shop. Getting fucking blank videotapes in there. Yeah. Oh, they were great days. Fucking recording off Sky or the telly. Yeah. Miss those days. I do miss those days. So what are your memories of the High Street? I mean, do you miss it? Is there shops that you miss? There's certainly shops that I do miss. Unfortunately, we're not going to get those shops back. I've heard something about Woolworths might be coming back, but I can't see it having that same impact. Unless they're going to be doing on-start. I mean, Wilko's is another one that's gone. You know, Wilko's. Obviously, years ago, Toys R Us. I never went into Toys R Us. Never been into Toys R Us, but I don't know. Obviously, a lot of people might have a lot of memories of Toys R Us. Video shops, you know, video shops is another thing. Days of the video shops, Blockbuster Video. We had a couple of video shops around here. Obviously not Blockbuster Video, but you know, video shops was another thing. That going in, renting a video, you know, watching it coming out, taking it back. You know, seeing all these videos, you know, everywhere. Oh, well, I'm watching that. Cinemas, you know, I think cinemas are still about, but I don't know. Just the trouble is, there's cinemas about, but there's no fucking films worth watching these days. Yeah, I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, the High Street. I fucking miss the High Street. It's just not the same anymore. A lot of shops are gone. They're knocking down a lot of buildings. You know, it's just becoming horrible, really. Anyway, I thought I'll talk about it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, and goodbye.